even though I have done multiple things during the weekend. For your information, our Veda classes again started.
Yeah. I saw that.
Yesterday.
Ah,
It was really good.
very nice. Very good. So, I don't know, Padmishri ran away after I ragged her.
What happened?
No, I said Padmashri is not there.
Ah.
So, did she run away after I ragged her with her that vairagya that you should spit out in the same plate as you eat?
See, that is one thing other day when you are explaining, I was thinking that is the way to do any meditation. When there are so many better techniques available, why we should think something similar to that?
No, it is not about thinking like that. It depends on the grossness. There are 108 ways of doing it, not just one way. If mind is gross, see, earlier what they used to do, but they used to take people to the cemetery, okay, where they used to throw the body, and your job is to sit in front of the body and meditate. Okay, some people used to get sexually excited looking at the body. Okay, for those people, what they used to do is to then take them to the cemetery where they have thrown the body, which are decomposed. So now you have to sit there and meditate. Or for some people who are even more gross, they used to take them to a place where maggots and all these insects have eaten away much of the flesh, and the fluid is coming from all the 9 holes. Okay, so that's how they found out Navadvara. Okay, so it depends on the grossness. This is an instant. You want to get to Vairagya, you just do that for 7 days. What I told you, you will get extreme Vairagya. If you can do it. None of us will be willing to do it.
Somehow, I don't know, for my consciousness, it is not appealing, that kind of experiments.
It's not
For
about...
me, what works is whatever these 3 acharyas recently they have communicated. We are heavily based on that. That is there in our blood.
No, then in that case you have not
More of Vedic style, not Aghori style.
No, it's not Aghori. That means you have not properly understood Viveka Chudamani at all. He exactly says what you have to do in Viveka Chudamani of cutting the body parts.
Maybe I have missed then Viveka Chudamani.
In the starting itself he says how to see your body. That is the part which he took from Nagarjuna. And initially when I was discussing with Lata, she was asking me, why should you contemplate on body parts? Without doing body part contemplation, there is not even one person who would have got into Vairagya. Even that Kumbara, that song which is there, Manava Mule Mamsada Padike, that is after that person has understood what it is. So we might sing the song, that is okay. Just like when people come to the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, they read all of that. Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam Maitraha Karuna Evacha and all that. But they don't practice because that never gets absorbed. So the Vaidika way of doing is that you just recite. And there is some mental peace and there ends the matter. That's not the way to do it at all. And it depends on the grossness of our existence. So each person has to choose out of 108 ways whatever is best suited for him or her. Now, if somebody wants an instant vairagya, that is the best thing to do. What I suggested on Friday. It's not the only way to do. So today we will look at another way to do. And I cannot cover all the 108 ways for sure, because I myself don't know 108 ways. There are much more harsher things than what I have explained to you. That will be part of 108. Let us say somebody wants a vairagya in the next 10 minutes. There are around 21 ways to do it. In next 5 to 10 minutes, you will have complete vairagya. Somebody wants it.
Hey, that vairagya is forced on your mind.
No.
It has to come in a natural way.
No. Nothing comes in natural way, but it's a amount of dirt which is there. See, when you have dirt, I'll tell you one thing. Let's say you have a linen and you have got a ink. Would you not rub it, or you just put your hand and say that let this go away? Will you be very kind with it, saying that, oh, this is just an ink?
No, you have to rub it.
Why? Why should you rub it? You have to keep on praying to that, let this ink dot or ink which has, or something which has fallen on that line and go away. Would you think it is going to go away?
No.
Simple. So you're exactly doing the same thing. It depending upon the mentality what each one of us have. You have to choose the detergent and you have to choose the mechanism which will clean up that. Simple. Some people have hard things, some people have soft things. If you have soft, then you don't require so much of rubbing. If I have hard, I'm not able to come out of it, and then I have to do that. I'm talking from Shankaracharya perspective. If I talk from Madhvacharya or from Ramanujacharya, then you have to go to God. Simple.
Yeah, but yes.
You cannot do it yourself because you are so scared of doing it yourself that you want somebody to come and help. And that is where Veda will come into existence, because there is this Veda Shruti, wherein that is what Krishna talks in the second chapter. He says, Veda talks in a colorful tone. Don't get mesmerized by that. You should get into the part of the Veda which talks about realization and liberation, not which talks about samsara. So the entire second chapter, 14 verses are dedicated to why you should not study Vedas. It's not about why you should study Veda. It is why you should not study Veda. Because the more Vedas you learn, the worse it gets in terms of the dirt accumulation.
More Veda study is lesser. What is that? I didn't get.
The more Vedas one studies, the lesser he can clean up that dirt.
That means all these Vedic scholars are going in opposite direction of moksha.
I didn't say that. It is there in the second chapter only. If you want, we can cover that. It is not.
That is good to sampradaya. No. That is sampradaya based. You follow without knowing what it is. But the Veda is knowledge.
That is correct. But what will you do with the knowledge? You have to apply it, and nobody applies it, right? Because there are two kinds of Veda. One which talks about how you can improve your life. Another part of the Veda which talks about realization. That is only 5%. The remaining 95% is how to improve your life. So how do you get the detergent? And that is a reason Shankaracharya chose the Dashopanishad plus Bhagavad Gita plus Brahma Sutra. He has not taken any Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, right?
Right.
Simple. So you have to go and ask Shankaracharya why he did not do it. He has not spoken anywhere about Vedas. He only says Shruti says this. When you look at the Shruti, he is talking from the Rig Veda, Yajurveda, wherein it talks about realization. He doesn't talk about any other connotation at all. He has taken Suktas completely because Suktas talk about realization. Okay, it can be Purusha Sukta, Sri Sukta, Narayana Sukta, and all of those Suktas. He has taken those.
Sukta is a part of Veda, right?
Yes, it is part of Veda. I didn't say that he has not taken Veda. I'm saying he has removed that part of the Veda which makes your life better. That is what it is. So it is our choice. It is that individual person's choice. So the Vairagya, if somebody wants...
See, whole foundation of India, Sanatana Dharma is based on Vedic, right, approach.
Yes.
And Vedic approach is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Moksha is the topmost priority. To achieve Moksha, you have Dharma, Artha and Kama.
Okay.
And around that, there is a lot of knowledge available. Now, if you say Veda doesn't have that, it's only small percentage of Veda is having. We are coming back to the same old discussion now again, back. Then somehow it is not convincing me.
No,
I have not understood that's true. But what I have understood is some people have understood it, that itself is a question now.
No,
Either Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, and all these people.
No,
see, everybody talks about moksha only, all three.
No, wait for a second, but you tell me, how does Kama give you moksha? You answer that.
I said Purushartha. No, I said Purushartha.
Right, Purushartha only. I am also talking Dharma, Artha, Kama.
And these Purusharthas finally will take you to moksha.
No, that is...
last part, because after that, nothing beyond that.
No, that is
what very nicely they have explained, either in Bhagavad Gita or anywhere. In our Vedic knowledge is that. That is my understanding so far.
Agreed on your understanding, but that is a misnomer. So you have to study Atma Bodha of Shankaracharya. You have to completely understand Viveka Chudamani. Then you will understand what is the meaning of moksha.
The meaning of moksha either by Shankaracharya or Veda or even by this Buddhism, all are same, right? Final definition of moksha is same.
Right.
And how to reach, there are varieties of methods.
Right.
Depending on that individuals.
Right.
Individuals, I can say his karma, and there are a lot of things around that.
No, that is correct. But then the point here is that if out 4 of us, let's say, we are just 4, we are not 40, fortunately, to debate on this, we are just 4. Now, all the 4 of us feel that we want liberation, then you should come out of that colorful Veda as indicated in the 2nd chapter by Krishna.
Veda is not colorful, Vilas, as per my understanding. Veda is the knowledge. Color is something you have added too much into that.
I have not added.
It's core knowledge is given by Drishtaras, especially rishis, because they have realized and they have given that knowledge from mouth to mouth. Now, recently, I think we have documented it.
No.
That is my understanding.
No, then we have to go back to 2nd chapter. At least to address this problem, I have to go back to 2nd chapter.
Now, if you say Veda doesn't have that Vedic, that knowledge, Sanatana Dharma knowledge was that so far. If we say as per 2nd chapter, that is also part of Veda only, na? Whatever. See, you have to
Veda is a knowledge.
In a different way it is.
Wait. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaha Ved arthaha partha na anyat asti iti vadinaha. Yam imam pushpitam vacham. The flowery speech of Vedas. Pravadanti avipaschitaha is uttered by the unwise. Vedaha vad arthaha, delighting in the sweet words of the Vedas. Parthana anyat asti iti vadinaha.
Which shloka is that you're talking
42.
about? Second chapter.
Yes.
Yamimam pushtitam vacham avaran. No. It says different meaning. It says the avivekis, they look at only Veda's karma bhaga part and they only talk about that.
Right. Absolutely.
No. With that, that is not acceptable. See, I am talking about Veda as a total.
No.
Not only karma bhaga.
No, you.
See, that if you take, I have done my 10th standard by studying only say sociology. No, you have to study all. Then
No.
only you have cleared.
But
Karma bhaga is also important for Chitta Shuddhi, right?
have you completely understood Rig Veda? Is my question.
I have not even read.
Then how are you then debating with me?
I have applied the knowledge based on, like you, there are so many people I heard, right? Based on that knowledge, plus whatever I read.
First you.
I am talking.
No, what
But
I'm
I'm not
saying.
realized.
No,
That's true.
one thing I'll suggest you is forget everyone or whomever you have been
Yeah.
listening to,
No,
including me.
you take this shloka only. It talks about only karma bhaga. It doesn't talk about other part.
Exactly. So now if you look at the Rig Veda,
I never said that I am only following I should follow only karma bhaga. I said Veda. Veda as a total.
no Veda. So I'm just requesting, but because this will not lead
Yeah.
us anywhere, so I want to cut that out here. From Yajurveda
Okay.
and Rig Veda, whenever you find time, you go through the entire Rig Veda and Yajurveda once by yourself. Okay, you will come to know how much portion of Rig Veda and Yajurveda talk about sannyasa and moksha, and you look at how much portion of it talks about how one can improve life. So the aviveki, what is being spoken here, are the normal beings who read Veda for making their life better. So that is what he says in the 43rd verse. Kamatmanaha swarga paraha janma karma phala pradam kriya visheshaha bahulam bhogaishwarya gatim prati. So all that we are doing is to accumulate punya. Veda means knowledge. It is not about this knowledge and that knowledge. Veda is a complete knowledge. It gives on all dimensions. I am not here to object on Veda. I am saying when you look at Rig Veda, Yajur Veda and Sama Veda, don't look into Atharva Veda right now, because that has much more deeper connotation. If you look at Rig Veda, Yajur Veda and Sama Veda, especially Rig Veda and Yajur Veda, you will come to know that there are shlokas which only project happiness in this world, Ihaloka. There are portion of Veda which only talks about Paraloka, that is heaven. There are aspect of Vedas which talks about neither this world, that is Ihaloka, nor Paraloka, but complete liberation. That portion of the Veda which talks about liberation is covered in Upanishads. That portion of the Veda where there is life getting developed in a better way is not covered in any of the Upanishads. So because understanding Veda is tough, when looking at so many things indicated in the Veda, and one lifetime is not sufficient to understand the Veda, so Shankaracharya came up with understanding through 10 Upanishads, because that is more than sufficient to understand the realization portion of the Vedas. Okay, so if you are studying 10 Upanishads, you will get realized. That is also part of Veda only.
Upanishad is no doubt. For me, all put together is Vedic knowledge. It's in the form of Upanishad.
But today what you are studying is about mantra patana. That is not going to lead to realization, is what I am saying.
Means, are you telling that you leave it?
I didn't say anything. It is dependent on what you are set yourself as a goal. If you say,
Correct.
okay,
Nothing to do goals. You see, the thing is nothing to do with the goal. What I'm thinking is, if it helps me for achieving this one, and it's a combination of, you need to have some combination. If it helps, do it. If it doesn't help, then don't do it. See, earlier is whatever is convenient for that individual, he should practice.
Yes, absolutely.
Correct.
Absolutely. So for that reason only, what
and the spiritual practice, first is Chitta Shuddhi is required. You should have Bhuta Shuddhi, what do you call your Panjendriyas, Nana, and then Japa, Tapa, whatever. Then once you achieve, then you go to the Dhyana. Suddenly entering into Dhyana, it may be possible for some people, but for Laukikas like us, it takes time. Directly entering into Dhyana. So every day practicing something, it helps. So I am talking with respect to that. Otherwise, we would have gone only for Vedic study now, right?
No, see, the thing is, if you as an individual want to implement all the 9 Sampatti, what is indicated by Shankara, then you have to use your own prudence on how to come out of Nitya and Anitya. Okay, and get into Vairagya. By studying a portion of scriptures which talks about Karma Kanda, you will not get Vairagya, is what I wanted to say. But if you have your own way of improvising it and getting into it, that is no problem at all. You can do that. But going by Shankaracharya's words only I am talking about, he says unless somebody gives up Karma Kanda way of working, it's not going to help him in either realization.
That is right. Karma Kanda is Homa and all those things. That I fully agree. That will not lead you anywhere except some Chitta Shuddhi.
So now when you say that Chitta Shuddhi, for Chitta Shuddhi you should get in such a way that all the 5 elements can be removed. Meaning you are able to see Prithvi as Prithvi, Apo as Apo, Vayu as Vayu, Tejo as Tejo, Akasha as Akasha, instead of their combinations, which is today. Okay, that will become Chitta Shuddhi. Or another way of doing it through Marjana and Bhojana and all that in the Hindu way or the Sanatana Dharma way of doing it, then you need to implement Bhuta Shuddhi, wherein you will pray to the fire, that is Agni, and Agni will then show the way. So all our practices are Agni based, because Agni will burn all the impurities. So you are putting all the impurities into Agni, and because of Agni you are burning away the Karma Kanda, which is equivalent to removing the Karma Kanda portion of the Veda. So what 43 and 44 are talking about in Bhagavad Gita or in other ways in Upanishad and Shankaracharya teaching is that you have to burn the Karma Kanda way of looking at things. How you do it?
Correct.
How you do it? There are various approaches. So Shankaracharya says that leave everything, you look at your body, get into a harsh tapas. So here you have to get into austerity. When you come to austerity, that is tapas, you have to burn all of this. So you have to find out way which helps you in terms of whether I have more of kama or more of krodha or lobha or mada, matsarya and all that. And then look into the portion of Vedas which explains how you can remove the kama. Okay? And burn it, just like Shiva burnt kama. So then became Kama Dahana. So you have to find out ways of doing that. And there are ways in ritualistic mode of doing it. There are ways in Jnana way of doing it. So if you do it in a ritualistic way through some mantra patana and all that, that also helps. But that takes longer time. But if you want to do it instantly, then you have to find out ways which are slightly harsh but yet gives the result immediately. So objective here is to make oneself disgusted of samsara. We are used to having a very colorful life of samsara, but we want to see what truly is samsara, so you have to find the disgusting element in that. So you have to do something which will bring in disgust. And that is vairagya. Without that, there's nothing called vairagya, right? The raga itself is there. So you have to find something which can be disgusting to that mind. It should get disgusted. Totally it should get detached. And when it get detached, see, now I will give you another example. Let's say I have a...
I agree with you. I agree with you this one. You should be disgusted. Correct. But the process for following this one, you have two process here. One is Ayurvedic style. It will take some time. But it is, you have given the treatment for the root cause. Other is allopathic related. Where, today if you give something, by tomorrow morning you will be alright. You can eat whatever you want. Ayurvedic means you have to follow patya. But we prefer Ayurveda because it is a long standing.
I am also talking from
That's
Ayurveda
right. So,
or whatever you are
something
talking.
Similar.
No, I am also talking about that. So what I suggest you to do is, it's my sincere suggestion, go through Viveka Chudamani, the first half of Viveka Chudamani, where you have 2 sections. Okay, we have already completed that some time ago, but you can go through that, and then Shankaracharya explains there about Annamaya Kosha, wherein you have to go deeper into it and see what this body is made up of, and you will get disgusted.
Yeah, I have gone through that 2 times. I remember. Even I made a lot of notes out of it.
But then you have to implement. But then you have to implement it. When you implement it properly, you get disgusted. Objective is to get disgusted. Without that, it will not allow you to go to Pranamaya Kosha at all. See, intellectually, I might read about Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. I can finish the entire Viveka Chudamani, and I might even be ready to take up an examination and pass with 100 marks. If there was marks was 100, I can score it very well. Absolutely fair. Because I have the memory, and I have the Sanskrit knowledge and have the knowledge to translate, so I can do all of that. But that doesn't help me. So what I need to do is, when I go to Annamaya...
See, for Annamaya Kosha, if you just practice Ekadashi, few days back I said not possible for me easily, it will take some time. So for practicing that itself is, you will understand what is the value of that Annamaya Kosha. And we can always say that is not me. It is troubling me if I don't eat. Because I am always eating or overeating and I am enjoying it. But that is not the life. We are always with Annamaya Kosha only. We don't go inside. So like that, by practicing, say, maybe Ekadashi or Upavasa or something like that, we can realize that is also a part of meditation, right?
That is correct, but what I am saying is, you follow what Shankaracharya has recommended. He is a better doctor than any one of us.
Yeah, that is true. That I fully agree.
Even the people,
they are all realized people, and
yes. So supposing, but if I have made myself Shankaracharya as my only teacher, only solace, nobody else. No Shatavadani Ganesh, no Sarvapriyananda, no this Ananda, that Ananda, no Ramakrishna Ashrama, no this one, no that one. If I made Shankaracharya as my final refuge, final guru to me, I should exactly follow what Shankara says.
Right.
And Shankara doesn't talk anything about Ekadashi. Okay. He says make Ekadashi every day.
Every day, yes.
Okay, so I have to follow that. See, if I make somebody as my guru, and I have treated that person as my only guru, there is no other. And I'm sure that in this samsara nobody can help more than what Shankaracharya can do. Then I have to do all that what he has said. So then if I do the Viveka Chudamani, then I have got Viveka and Vairagya, Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Samadhana, Shraddha and Mumukshvatva. All of them have been established. It's not today or tomorrow, whatever. If I prostrate to Shankara and say that, Shankara Bhagavad Pada, you are the only person who can relieve me from this pain of samsara. Now tell me what I should do. So, and Shankara would say, please refer to my Viveka Chudamani, that will give you complete knowledge. If you have any doubt, ask me. Then what I should do? I should exactly follow what he says. There is nothing like, no, let me refer another book and come back to you. No. Viveka Chudamani is sufficient. I don't have to know Rigveda.
That's sufficient. Yes, yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. Whether I know Rigveda, I know Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda, this Upanishad, that Upanishad, not required. He has summarized.
That is true. I fully agree that, because all these are knowledge available as per the Vedic in the various forms. It may be in Bhagavad Gita, it may be in Upanishad, or it may be in Brahma Sutra and all that.
Correct.
And all three acharyas given sufficient vyakhana on that. Try to understand through a guru, because initially it will take, and in practice. I fully agree with that.
So my question to all of us, including me, is what is my goal? My goal is to go step-by-step approach. Then I cannot take Shankaracharya as my guru, because Shankara doesn't talk step-by-step approach. Even though I love Shankaracharya the most, I cannot take step.
But Nididhyasana is that continuous, applying continuously.
Correct. But you have to apply continuously. See, you have Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana by all the religion, by all the acharyas, by everyone in their own way. Correct?
Yes.
So now the question comes, if I follow Shankara, what I should do? I should start immediately with Vairagya. Simple.
Correct.
There is nothing like I will negotiate. Hey, wait for a second, give me some time, I will think back and get back to you. No, sorry. And then he says Viveka. He doesn't say Viveka first and then Vairagya. He says Vairagya Viveka. You come to me after these two are established. So now can I take Shankara as my teacher? It's not about whether I will do it later or whatever. If I take Shankara as my teacher, only teacher, and nobody else can help me. I have known for sure Madhvacharya is of no use to me. Ramanujacharya is of no use to me. Buddha is of no use to me. Mahavira is of no use to me. Another teacher whom I know is not used to me. Nobody can help me.
That is correct. Whichever you like, you follow that route. There are various routes.
No. If I consider Shankara as my guru, Shankara Bhagavat Pada as my guru,
you should follow them. If you call him guru, you have to follow him.
Exactly. So what is the first step of doing that? Vairagya. As simple as that. There is no step-by-step approach. Directly Vairagya. That's what I am wanting to say.
Yeah. That also fully convincing. You have to follow Vairagya.
Yes. So for Vairagya, right. No, for Vairagya, whether you are getting disgusted in this way or that way, that other way, it doesn't matter. You have to be in Vairagya before I meet.
No, my only thing was, alas, Vairagya should not bring another Vairagya, that I should not go into that Vairagya.
No.
That's the reason I use the word Vedic way of Vairagya.
That is also Vedic only.
You can have various, you can follow various ways to Vairagya, right?
No.
I don't have to go to, for example, to see the worst situation, like going to that graveyard and see that vikaras, and then from there get Vairagya. That is one way. That is Bhayanaka. What I'm telling is, without Bhayanaka also there may be possible.
No.
That possibility may be easier.
No. So if I follow Shankara, I have to do this. I'm not talking Aghori at all. I'm not at all talking about Aghori. That is the reason I suggested you read Viveka Chudamani, the first half of Viveka Chudamani, wherein he talks about the Annamaya Kosha and Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha. If you internalize it correctly, you will understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, he has not said that you put it in the mouth and throw it and all that. That is not what he has said. But you have to look at the body and get disgusted. As simple as that. How you do it, it is your problem.
That I agree. See, putting in the mouth and take it out, if that is something like, what Shankaracharya's teaching and follow, that is that I may have my own way of doing it.
Yes,
Maybe
you can.
good for somebody else. For me, that may not work. Because
Like
immediately what may happen is, for me, in my mind, there will be a conflict. Oh, I am following something which is not working with me. That
No.
may happen. So what I'm thinking, achieve the same Vairagya again a different way.
No, like I said, even
Which
that
works
day.
for me.
Yeah, correct. That day I even clarified to Padmashri that there are 108 ways, not one way. I never said this is the only way.
Yeah.
There are 108 ways. And also one thing we need to know is how gross is our mind. So what is the next, if not this, what is the next thing we need to do? If you stand in front of the mirror, if you are able to identify yourself, it shows that you are in gross. Simple.
Correct.
For that gross, you should use the tool which is going to cut the gross. And
Yes.
for some people, when they see their reflection on the mirror, they don't recognize themselves in the mirror. For those people, this kind of thing is not required.
Yes.
And there are 54 of those kinds. Not one, 54. And for gross people, there are 21 of them. Okay. And there are people who can see their aura instead of the body. For them, there are 18 kinds. Okay. Now there are people who can not only see the aura, they can see the inner core self. The Anandamaya Kosha itself is visible to them. For them, there are 6 ways of doing it. And there are people.
See, all these things can be achieved through dhyana, only meditation.
Nididhyasana is
So this is
meditation.
also what you're telling is a karma bhaga. See, putting something inside the mouth, again spitting, and again doing some experiment. That is also karma bhaga. Instead, don't do karma at all. Just be in dhyana.
That is for people who have seen what is consciousness. Then they can only do kriya, which are only 3 kinds. So if you are already at that level, then you just have to have 3 kinds of things which can be done, and you don't have to do anything at all.
Because for me, I feel that will work much, especially for my mind.
Fine.
That may work much better than anything else.
Fine.
Dhyana. Yes.
No, fine. Whichever you want to choose. See, if you have seen what is consciousness, meaning to say that you don't have
Yes.
attachment to anything, and you have already seen that you are that Purusha, and you are able to see that there is no Prakriti at all. For those people who have reached beyond Anandamaya Kosha, there are 3 ways of doing it. Whereas a person like me, I have to go through the 21 ways of doing it because I am still seeing gross, let's say as an example. Whereas you might be seeing from beyond Anandamaya Kosha. So which is okay. Absolutely fine. I cannot say that no, you are not seeing Anandamaya Kosha. That is what your consciousness is able to reflect. So it is okay. Just like Lata in the morning, she was saying that every day morning she is able to see something on the ceiling. Okay. And it is good. But that is not seen by me. So I can't say that no, that is wrong.
Yes, that works for her. I think that's a perfect definition.
Yes. So we out of 108 kinds of doing,
Yes.
one has to choose not by I don't like this, I don't like that. It's not like that. It is by how much is the level of grossness. So if my gross is very less, then I don't have to do any one of this because I already seen it. So I don't have to do all this. Not only this, I don't even in that case I wouldn't have even continued with my family life. So the question of should we continue with family life, job life wouldn't have arisen because The consciousness is already there. You have already almost established till Anandamaya Kosha, or rather you have established beyond Anandamaya Kosha. So in Viveka Chudamani you have come to the fourth leg of that. So there are only 3 ways of doing it. There's nothing more to do. You almost cleared everything. So we have to be our own evaluators and use Shankaracharya as our guru to go and question, which level I am in. And the Viveka Chudamani book will say, this is the level where I am in. So all the 4 of us, what are we trying to do is to share the knowledge and where each person is and help each other. So let us say somebody might be in the front and he can or she can say, I did this, now you do this and you will find it. And that person finds it, or he might not find anything at all. Then he has to go back to Shankaracharya to find out what better ways of doing it. That's all we 4 have to do, if realization is the goal. So my question again on that day, what I had asked to all 4 of us is, what's our goal? Is Siddhi the goal, or is Atma Jnana the goal, or Moksha or Mukti is the goal? If you say no, Siddhi is the goal right now, okay, great, no problem. So let us stick to that, and that person can work towards it. Absolutely fair. There is nothing wrong in doing that. Then if Atma Jnana is the goal, then the person has to go slightly deeper than the Siddhi. Then if Moksha or Mukti is the goal, then he has to go even more deeper than the Atma Jnana and the Siddhi. So accordingly, scriptures can be read in that way.
Correct. Yeah, I think this is what the scriptures can be read in 3 ways. We have clearly understood. Dvaita, Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, same Bhagavad Gita. But the thing is, what works for you, you can implement the way what you want.
Yes, there is no
and
need
in
to.
That, what I have picked up is dhyana is good for me.
Fine, you can go through.
And for doing the dhyana, I need daily basis some chitta shuddhi. To get some chitta shuddhi, maybe I have to do something which is meaningful for chitta shuddhi, and then get into dhyana, be there, enjoy it, and grow.
No, that is okay. So a small sincere request for all 4 of us is to set the goal, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not about knowing or not knowing. That is not the question, because after we sleep there is no knowing at all. So let's forget about knowing or unknowing it. It is about what we want from our life, in this life. What is that we are looking at? And then set that goal. And once the goal is set, everything falls in place, because you will get the knowledge accordingly. That is the Veda. So wherever you set, you will get that result, and that is how beautifully Veda is established. So if you look at
perfect.
Yeah, so you have Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adhyatmika. So when we go into Adhyatmika, you are crossing beyond the Atma, right? So when you go beyond the Atma, the assumption we are making is we are not looking at the body, we are not looking at the mind, we are not looking at the intellect, we are not even looking at the ego, we are not looking at Chitta, but beyond that. Okay.
Perfect.
Now
beyond Prapancha.
Yes. So from Prapancha to Nirprapancha. So when we establish something like that, then practice is the only way. That is, Nididhyasana is the only way. So we cannot come back to Shravana, because that will take you to Adi Bhautika and also Adi Daivika. That is how Vedas are also organized. So it will help you in your Bhautika life, it will also help you in Daivika life, and also it will help you in Adhyatmika life. Like when I met you initially, I asked you Agnir Mile Purohita, what is the meaning? So you can put it in Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adhyatmika. So you can look from three things. So what Krishna is saying is the avivekis, that means viveka, who don't have. Those people who don't have are the people who don't have vairagya. That's what Shankaracharya defines. So when somebody says aviveki, it means that you don't have vairagya. So for those people, who don't have vairagya established right now as we speak, so what we should do? Establish vairagya right now in whichever way it is, whether this way or that other way, or your own way, your own definition way, whatever. But when we come to the class, we should all have vairagya. The four of us. So then only we can see what this 15th chapter is talking about. Otherwise, it will not work out. So we are spending considerable time in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is very good. But one thing we all need to see is, like Lata asked the question on the other day, why are we not able to give up the family life and all that? That is in the mind we should give up. So for that you should have Bhuta Shuddhi and Chitta Shuddhi both happened. Then you can drop family life from your mind. Then the 15th chapter will be interesting, beautiful, because you have cut off that Ashwatha Vriksha. No more samsara.
Actually, your message throughout was, you will be a part of samsara, but you are not attached to samsara. It is like on the lotus leaf you have
Correct.
water.
Even now, that is what
Droplet.
will be the output.
Yeah, it will move anywhere, anytime without any hesitation, and it will still enjoy it.
Even now is the same answer. So to cut it off, what you need to do is you have to use the Shastra, which Krishna explains in that shloka. Right? What he says,
Yeah.
what is the Shastra? He says, Asanga Shastrena, acts of detachment.
Satsangatve nitsangatvam.
Nitsangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan mukti, right?
Super, that one really goes with this.
So you have to cut that, right? We are not, what we are saying is, we don't want to cut it now. Let it also go along with it. Sorry.
See, Vilas, when you are going deeper into this dhyana, rest all will automatically go away, right?
Yes, for which you should have
Because to enter into dhyana, naturally need all these shuddhis.
No.
But you are in dhyana, naturally you are disconnected.
No, that is a temporary. No, that is whenever you sit for half an hour, 1 hour, that's a temporary thing. That doesn't help. Now, when you come back from dhyana, let us say, all the impurities will start occupying back whatever was clean. So now you have to cut it. So what Krishna says is Asanga Shastra. Use that all the time. Then only the Ashwata will drop dead. Otherwise it will not. That's what we need to do. And that is the reason he says, Ashwattam prahuhu avyayam chandamsi yasya parnani yaha tam veda saha vedavit. One who knows the root above and root below and each leaves representing the Veda or the knowledge. One who knows this Ashwatha tree knows the Vedas. That's what he says in the first verse. This is the most difficult portion of Bhagavad Gita because we are talking only on Asi. There is no Tat and Tvam. Or rather, what we are talking here is there is no Ishvara also. There is Jivi, Jagat, Ishvara, all the three are merged into that supreme consciousness. And that's the reason we are finding it very difficult to understand intellectually. So this is something experientially only you can do that. Not through intellectually you can achieve it. Not possible. The depth at which we are talking doesn't cover that. So if we go by whatever the usual way we find it on internet or on YouTube or whatever, they give word to word meaning. They don't go deeper into it. So that is okay. That is still in the Shravana. It's fine.
Yeah.
But what we are talking is Nididhyasana. We are not talking Shravana at all.
Correct.
That's the problem.
Vilas, Shravana Manana understood. Now you have a guru, through that it comes. So, meditation and Nididhyasana, what is the difference here, these two?
See, what you are calling as dhyana. Okay, so if you have yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, that is the dhyana is what is called Nididhyasana. Nidhi means treasure. Dhyasana, searching for it. You will search the treasure, which is consciousness, when you are completely cut off from the mind. That is what Nididhyasana is. Dhyasa is to search. Nidhi is to find the treasure. It's a treasure, searching for the treasure. Simple.
Yeah, and then now we are talking about two types of dhyana. One is through that Ashtanga Yoga dhyana. Other one is daily we do meditation. Ashtanga Yoga dhyana is the next step is just you are reaching your ultimate goal. But this daily basis what you do dhyana is a part of the dhyasana, correct?
No, it is not part of Nididhyasana. It will take you to only manana at the most. Nididhyasana is practical implementation.
So actually the word dhyana is wrong. This is a manana, what we do daily.
Yes, we memorize or we reflect upon. That's a better way. See, now let us say I sit for Sandhya Vandanam.
One minute. See, manana, see, you keep one om and you do meditation. That's one way. Otherwise, you put your deity and you do meditation.
That is japa.
Third is you don't have anything.
No.
Yeah, you don't have anything.
No, wait.
Then you will be there.
No, wait for a second. So now you have three things. So you have japa, tapa, dhyana. Okay.
Yes.
Repetition of any mantra, including om, in a particular way is japa.
Correct.
Putting yourself into that is tapa. Because you're going to burn.
How to do that in that silence?
You first do 108 japa using the tulsi.
Yeah.
Then you stop.
Yes.
Then you reflect upon ma, Vaishvanara Taijasa Prajna. That becomes japa. So yeah, that becomes tapa.
Tapas. Okay.
Tapa is to burn. Okay. After doing tapas for, let us say, considerable amount of days, the minimum tapas you should do is for 49 days. And once that gets established, then you should do dhyana on that. So some people take 49 into so many days. So let us say my mind is gross becomes 49 into 2, 49 into 3, 49 into 4, like that. So then the japa also increases. So now I have to, 108 will not be sufficient. I should make it as 1008 or 10,008 or 1,08,000, like that, or 10,08,000, something like that, till it breaks. So that is japa, tapa and dhyana. So when I come to dhyana, dhyana has two kinds. One is the savikalpa samadhi dhyana and another one is nirvikalpa samadhi dhyana. Okay. In the savikalpa samadhi, om will get established completely in that. That becomes samadhi. Savikalpa. Whatever was imagined establishes there. Om is the primordial. So you will be able to understand completely Vaishvanara Taijasa Prajna state. 3 states. Then you go to Nirvikalpa. and that establishes samadhi. So without yama and niyama, nothing else will work. Without the sadhana chatustaya, nothing will work. That is what we need to do. So the first sadhana chatustaya is vairagya. Without vairagya, nothing will work. That is where we have stopped now. I might be saying mantra, that is absolutely no problem, but without vairagya, that is not going to help. So then I have to keep on increasing 49 into 2, 49 into 3, 49 into 4, 49 into 5, like that I can keep on increasing my tapas. So sadhana chatustaya is more harder than Patanjali's yama and niyama. And that is the reason in Aparoksha Anubhuti, Patanjali, Shankaracharya ridicules all the practices of Ashtanga Yoga. So Shankaracharya's Viveka Chudamani is a much higher, much profound than Patanjali Yoga Sutra.
Yes.
So if we are following Shankaracharya, Vairagya is the starting point, not ending, that is the starting. So it is our choice what we want to follow. And hence going through a DT way is the right thing to do, because we are not yet ready for that. So we can go to Durga, or we can go to Lakshmi, or we can go to Saraswati, we can go to anybody, Vishnu or Shiva or Rama or whatever, because we are not yet ready for that Vairagya. And that becomes Dvaita. Hope, but I could give whatever I am trying to talk about.
Yeah, you brought my mind back to original.
And sorry for making you feel slightly agitated.
No, because it's a spiritual, there is no agitation or something. What is not entering into the mind, that I have to express as
Yeah,
right.
No problem. You have to. So
Again, idea is not attached to any acharyas.
correct.
It is just attached to the concept, and then see what we can achieve, how we can achieve.
Yes, it is beautiful. I enjoy our morning discussions because that makes me learn a lot of things. But this is what it is. So the starting point of Shankara is Vairagya. Starting point of this Patanjali Yoga Sutra is Yama. It is not Vairagya to begin with. So he talks about very simple thing, Ahimsa, then Satya, then Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha. It's much easier than Shankara, because Shankara goes cutting it totally. Asanga Shastra. Now, what we need to evaluate is, before we close for today, what is that we are doing to get into Vairagya? That's all. That will show us where we stand.
Vairagya is very important.
Correct. Which has to be done today, right now.
That means, correct. That means you detach from prapancha and you attach to that.
To that higher, yes, to that higher self.
Yeah, higher, supreme power.
Yes. And Bhagavad Gita,
Vairagya and bhakti, they go hand in hand, right?
no, they
If you have
don't.
bhakti, then it is vairagya. Also.
No, for those people who cannot achieve Vairagya in the way Shankaracharya has taught, so Bhakti is the better marga, because then you have God.
But yeah, see, you are only believing that God is ultimate for you and you are fully surrendered.
Yes.
So in front of bhakti, vairagya by default it will be there because you are not connected with anything other than that supreme.
Perfect. So now that doesn't give you complete Vairagya because you're attached to that God also, which is Savikalpa Samadhi. It doesn't give you Nirvikalpa.
Correct. That is true. That much I understood. Yeah.
So that is the problem. Now you will not be able to get out of that, like Totapuri helped Ramakrishna Paramahamsa to come out of it.
Yeah. But when you reach there, automatically you will get inside us.
No, you will not. You will not. You please do it and see. See, nobody can beat Shankaracharya. No acharyas can beat Shankaracharya, whether it is Madhvacharya or Ramanujacharya or whichever acharya can ever come near Shankara.
Yeah, Vilas, I need to leave now. I have to go for another meeting.
Okay, we will also meet tomorrow.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So you are about to tell the other method. So we never reached there. Okay.
Tomorrow we have tomorrow. Today is the day of but.
I don't know. You made me to talk. I was thinking to be silent today.
That's okay. It's good that you talk, but okay then. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye everyone.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Yeah, wait. Should I raise something?